Thank you. I don't have a presentations. I will be basically sharing the experiences and the learnings of Nepal on SDGs and also some of the climate actions that Nepal as a country has taken till date. Let me start with the climate vulnerability context of Nepal. If you look at the Nepal, there are three distinct ecological zones. High mountains, often we call it as the Himalayas, hills, and the plains. On these three ecological zones, there are different types of climate-induced disasters that Nepal has faced. In the high mountains, we have Bluff, glacial lakes outburst flood. Hope you are aware of the phenomenon that is happening in the Himalayas, where the big ice sheet is melting, and that induced the risks of vertical flood from the high mountains to the lower areas. So that's one of the risks that Nepal has. In the hills, we have landslides, and in the plains, flood and inundations, easily climate-induced disasters. Let me illustrate one of the signature events that we have recently encountered in 2014 in August in the Galle River. That's one of the transboundary river between Nepal and India. I call it a signature event because it is one of the events that we are studying right now as organization PRC for the loss and damage case for Nepal. In 15th August 1914, if you look at the Department of Hydrology and Meteorological precipitations in the river basin upstream of the river, it recorded a 423.1 mm precipitation in 24 hours. So that's the big precipitation. And if you look at the second highest recorded precipitation for the same river basin, that's on 1988. That is 169 mm. So that means the precipitation level in the year 2015, in the 15th of August, has 2.5 times the normal precipitation that the river basin has. So whatever the amount of precipitation, the amount of rainfall that have occurred on that on that day has washed away everything that's in the downstream. All the DRR works that we have been done for the last 10-20 years in the Galle River basin. And so the impact was such massive that even after several years, people are still displaced and living as in temporary shelters. There has been a big loss in the agriculture field. And also on the national park, one of the national park is on the downstream, Bardea National Park. So even in the national park also we have big losses. Some of the rhinos were washed away to the India. So the government of Nepal had to approach to the Indian government to give us back our rhinos. So similarly, many houses hundreds of people lost their lives and thousands of houses were washed away. So I'm just illustrating this case because this is one of the cases where we can directly link with SDGs. When we are talking about SDGs, we are talking about poverty, we are talking about food security, we are talking about good health, we are talking about energy, we are talking about the clean waters, right? These are the SDGs goals that we have. 17, out of 17, there are a couple of, these are the few goals, these are key goals. But if you look at the disaster events, the climate-induced disaster events, all these SDG goals has interrelations, or all these SDG goals are being affected because of the climate change, climate-induced disasters. So there is no doubt that climate actions and sustainable development goals has to be complementary. If we fail to do that, our development gains, there is risk that our development gains can be reversed, poverty can increase, and there will be irreparable ecological losses or damages that we have to face. So some of these events that we have recently encountered in Nepal in 2014. There are so many other events, but I just took one example. So that unless we take actions on the climate change, the SDGs, the promises that we have on the SDGs or the targets that we have to meet on the SDGs is difficult to meet. So that's my message today. In terms of a government, there has been some initiatives from the government side in terms of working on the SDGs and making it coherent with the climate actions. One of the strategic documents that National Planning Commission has produced in Nepal is SDG status and roadmaps. That's for 2016 to 2030, so it's the 15 years vision that Nepal has in terms of achieving the SDG goals. So all the 16 goals are relevant except goal number 14, that's on ocean, life in ocean. So since Nepal is a landlocked country, so we have avoided, we haven't included that goal. So, but definitely for Sri Lanka and many other countries, this is still relevant. So let me share with you. There are so many, not all the goals, but especially in goal number 13, that's the climate actions, and goal number 7, that's on energy, and the goal number 15, that's on life in land. So let me share with you some of the indicators or some of the targets that government has set up in terms of achieving these 3 goals. It says that the SDG roadmap document says that in the goal number 13, the CO2 emissions, existing emission of CO2 will be halved. So that's the target that government has set. And it also targets to build at least 120 village municipalities to develop a climate action adaptation plan in 120 village municipalities by 2030. As you know, Nepal is one of the pioneering countries to introduce LAPA. That's the Local Adaptation Plan of Actions. I hope many of you have heard it. We are talking about NAPA, National Adaptation Program of Actions, or the NAPS, National Adaptation Plans. But Nepal is one of the pioneer countries who has downscaled the adaptations to the local level. So in every municipality or every village has to develop their adaptation plans. So that's the modality that Nepal has undertaken. So that's one of the targets that Nepal is being. And also it says that 170 climate smart villages. The government will be putting effort to develop 170 climate smart villages. In terms of goal number 7 on energy, access 97% of household to electricity, generation of 1500 megawatt, and reduce the household with firewood consumption to 30% from 75%, which still in the rural sectors, there is a big consumption of biomass as a fuel in Nepal. So in terms of goal number 15, halt forest loss and degradation, protected area 23.3%, so, and increase community forestry to 42%. So that's a quite ambitious aim. And also the plantations, 5,000 hectares of plantations per year. So these are some of the targets that government has set in terms of SDGs roadmap. Let me conclude by saying the 2 points. First point is that in the research that we have been commissioning together with Sri Lankan Trust, we had recommended, one of the 2 key recommendations was to align NDCs with SDG targets. So that's one of the key recommendations that we have given to the government of Nepal. Unless you align the NDCs with the SDG target, there is no domestic mechanisms to roll out the NDCs, right? So it has to be aligned with the national process, it has to be aligned with the national plans, programs, and budget. Unless you can do it, it's difficult to achieve the NDC targets. Second is to collaborate with development partners and private sectors. If you look at the Nepal's previous NDCs, it's basically a government plan. It's not Nepal's country plan. in Nepal, if it has to be Nepal's country plan, the development sectors has worked so much on the adaptations, and private sector is coming up with some of the ambitious project on mitigation. So those has to be taken into account in terms of when you are envisioning the country NDCs. And my final point is that I believe climate change is the only international mechanism. I may be wrong on this, but only international mechanism which has dedicated financing window. If you talk about SDGs, it's all talk about all the morals and principles, no financing. Just 1 minute. If you talk about SFDRR, it's also all about principles and all the approaches, right? But climate change is the only international mechanism which has dedicated finance. So if we can mobilize the climate finance to achieve SDGs goals together with the domestic finance and ODA, that will be that will help us in achieving the SDG goal. With this note, I would like to thank Ministry of Mahabali Development and Environment, Government of Sri Lanka, and Sri Lankan Trust for the invitations and the opportunity to share our experience and learnings from Nepal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kohli, for explaining the Nepal context with respect to NDCs and the SDGs. And now we have 3 presentations in this particular session. As you can see the agenda. For the next presentation, let me invite Professor Nizam Khan to make his presentation in 10 minutes.